my fellow comic book collectors. Today is a very special, you know, price variance show where we're going to be kind of looking at books over the last 50 years because I'm turning 50. And Mark said, hey, why don't we show like books that represent those 50 years? So that's what we're doing. I got a bit of a theme going. Mark has a bit of a theme going too. And we're going to see what themes each of us have. And hopefully we're not going to show the same books. I doubt it. But I think it should be interesting. I'm always like when we do these things, we don't prepare. We don't say, oh, bring that book, bring that book. We just bring random stuff. So it's as surprising to me as it is going to be to you. So, Mark, what did you bring for? I guess we're going to start. We're working backwards.
So we're going to do the. So I presume you were born in the 70s, then, Alan.
Yes, 1973.
Okay. So we're starting with the 70s. So this is any comic from the 1970s.
1970s.
Okay. So I've just brought comics I think are quite interesting to represent that decade and to have a bit of a chat about. So my first one, and I've got no clue where I got this from. It was probably just in an auction lot, but I absolutely love it. It's called Girl Romances.
Oh, interesting.
Number 158. It's absolutely brilliant. It's set in, that is Piccadilly Circus. And that is Eros. That is the statue of Eros in Piccadilly Circus. So they're in swinging London. Yeah.
Nice.
And also in this, Alan, we get to learn how to develop sex appeal.
Oh, cool. I could use that.
Yeah, I've had a look. And
it just work.
It just talks about being self-confident and having that a little je ne sais quoi.
I might get that at the grocery.
Okay. Yeah, and in here we've got if you love me, baby, you'll come away with me now. What shall I do? If only I could trust him. I mean, it's fantastic. And also what's interesting is the adverts. So if you went and got a sort of typical comic from the 70s and look on the back, they'll be selling toy rifles. Okay.
Yeah.
On the back of this, they're selling wigs.
Oh, wow. Interesting. That's very different. It's a different audience.
Yeah, exactly. And they're selling jewelry inside here. Now this is right towards the end of it, this run. So this is number 158. This run started when it was National Comics rather than DC. And they're actually quite pricey. These.
Oh yes. I've been collecting romance covers, comics.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. So it's weird that you showed that one because one of the themes I was thinking of doing was romance books through the decades.
Okay.
But
yeah, I pick these up occasionally if I see. I really do like some of the covers. I think they're great, and they're really good social commentary on the time.
Yeah, they are.
So this is right at the start of the 70s. I think this is actually 1970. This came out, so we've still got a bit of hangover here from the swinging 60s.
Yeah, it looks like the mini skirt, that style of hair, the boots, yeah.
And the fact they're in London, so
that's when London was cool.
That's when London was cool. Yeah, that's right. I think this is a really interesting bit of social history from the 1970s. This actually ended 2 issues later. So issue 160 was the last one. So this is right towards, which is a big shame because there's some fantastic covers. Girl Romance.
Do you have any idea who did the art on that, or?
I don't know. I have no idea who
the style looks really familiar. That's why I was wondering.
Yeah,
because there was a lot of really kind of big artists that did the romance.
Yes. I'm trying to
remember. Even Neil Adams and
they did. Yeah, quite a lot
of
worked on these romance magazines. Yeah, you get some pretty good art. I mean, that art I think is really good. I don't know who it is. Yeah, so there we go. That's my 1970s comic.
Cool, cool. So one sec. I had my thing upside down then. So one sec here. So my theme, and if you like, because it is my birthday, I have to have themes related to kind of what I collect and the things that I enjoy.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I really enjoy is sexy girls.
Yeah.
Hoping to get a few for my birthday. But, yeah, so here's the first sexy girl.
Oh,
from the 70s, 1977.
Yeah.
And it's Red Sonja.
Very good.
So, yeah, I believe this is the first time where she wears that kind of metal bra as well. You know, like
I think that's her first title series, isn't it?
This is her first title series. Before that, they had her wearing almost like a chainmail vesty kind of thing. But yeah, I kind of like this version of her. I think I forget who the. I think yeah, Frank Thorne. That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's nice.
Really, really great.
Yeah.
Sexy cover. I kind of like these. Like it reminds me of like Conan the Barbarian. Well, it is from that series, right?
She appears in Conan, yeah.
Yeah, but you got her like chopping the head off the snake. You got almost like a Gollum-like guy in the background here. I don't know. It's kind of I don't know. It's just got so many things going on.
I mean, that is quite a good one for the 1970s. This is sort of the powerful woman coming forward, and
yeah, a little bit. Yeah, but powerful but sexy. It appeals to both ends, so that's quite good. Red Sonja, I don't know. Like I actually enjoyed the movie. Like the movie's got that kind of factor. I don't know, that kind of that cheesy kind of like sword and sorcery kind of thing. There were so many movies like that were like kind of a little bit cheesy, but kind of fun in their own weird way. So yeah, Red Sonja was kind of like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a big fan.
Aren't we meant to be getting another Red Sonja movie?
Yeah. I'm not sure if she's going to have red hair in it, but they always seem to replace gingers. I don't know. They have something against gingers. So Red Sonja, I don't know. This is my 70s book.
Okay. Right. So my 80s book, and I can't think of anything more 80s than this than the television series that this comic was based on. And it's the 80s. Oh, nice. Yeah. So yeah. I remember, sitting at home on a Saturday evening at home in the 1980s. So I was, late teens, early 20s, and I used to watch the A-Team with my family. Really, I think we'd probably just got a colour television at this stage.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, there we go. A-Team number one. That is my 80s. This is representing the 80s, the A-Team.
Yeah, I really liked Mr. T. I think he was cool. Yeah. He was my favorite character from the whole thing.
Yeah, of course.
It was kind of funny because every episode was the same. They always had that thing where the people would come to them and ask for their help, but they don't have any money, but they're going to do it just because they're good people. And they always have a situation where the bad guys are coming. I don't know why bad guys are coming, but bad guys are coming, and they have to sort of MacGyver stuff. They have to like kind of create like that, thing. I like the A-Team. I thought it was a great show.
Yeah.
But yeah, that definitely does represent the 80s.
Yeah, I think this only lasted three issues. I think.
Yeah.
Very short-lived comic.
Sure. Yeah. Okay, that's a good one. So my 80s, again, it's good girl. It's sexy, and it's also an artist that kind of represents the 80s in terms of that good girl side, and brilliant artist. Kind of lived a very short life, but it's Dave Stevens.
Oh yeah, well, of course.
Okay, so this is Valkyrie, number one or number five actually. It's Airboy.
Yeah,
Airboy number 5.
Yeah.
So it's just a really great homage cover as well. And it's just I really am a big fan of Dave Stevens. and he knows how to draw women. He's he makes them kind of sexy yet but look, she's kind of badass too. Like she, again, women in power. I don't know, maybe that's the secondary theme. I don't know, but
powerful women. You've had two powerful women so far.
yeah, maybe.
Look, I mean, she's got a boot on him, so yeah, it's definitely female.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, like you think of this as being like kind of a modern woman. This is an homage. The original cover, is the same way. This is like, I think it's kind of funny. Like,
well, it's the classic dominatrix type cover, isn't it?
Yeah. Sometimes, I think sometimes we as men we kind of like that kind of woman in charge thing, just briefly. So yeah, she has a big gun too. So or a couple at least. That's true. So yeah, Airboy number 5. Just Dave Stevens.
Have you actually got every single Dave Stevens cover now?
So I learned recently that there's maybe 1 or 2 that I don't have. So I found a list that has all the Dave Stevens covers, that says that it has all the Dave Stevens covers. But then when I met Stray Flexing and Andrew, who were basically these, super collectors, like the next level collectors, they're like, oh, but did you know about these books? And then there was like, oh, now I have to find those. They're really incredibly hard to find. So I have every other one except for those maybe couple that they mentioned that I don't have. But I really do like Dave Stevens. So yeah, there's like over 100 covers, right? It's like it's quite a big collection. Okay, so that's Dave Stevens. That's my 80s.
Okay, 90s. Well, we've got a choice of thousands here, Alan. We've got foil, we've got hologram, we've got die cut, we've got embossed, we've got plastic, we've got every gimmick. You can
came out in the 90s.
Any comic from the 90s is going to have virtually every comic from the 90s has a gimmick in it, especially if it's a key issue. So here we go. I've just picked, this is the first one I came across, and it just shouts 90s. This is Wildcats, number 25. And it's all and die cut, and it's, just screams, I'm from the 90s.
That is pretty 90s. Yeah, and it's like that overly like chesty guy.
Yeah, big.
Yeah,
light field muscle machine.
Yeah.
Big body, small feet.
Yeah. He just topples over.
Yeah. That's how I saw an interview with Neil Adams, and that's how he described the sort of
Jim Lee art
stuff in the 90s was the small feet brigade.
Yeah.
So
like Liefeld and all those guys.
Yeah. But these are the problem. I mean, they're good in one way in that they're really cheap to pick up because they're overprinted, hugely overprinted. So the market's flooded with these things. So you never have to pay very much to get a 90s comic. But on the other hand, they're never going to be worth very much because there's so many of them out there.
But that's a cool one. I haven't actually seen that cover before, believe it or not.
No,
I know the Wildcats run, but I didn't see that one.
This appeared in one of my auction lots, and I'd not seen it before. So maybe this one isn't as big a print run.
Yeah, I mean, Wildcats, I know the run, but not that particular. What issue is that?
25. Okay,
so probably in the later issue, you never know. Like in the later issues, it could be that they started getting to normal runs.
Who knows? But I just like the way they're all sitting around this car here as well.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Cool.
Okay, so my 90s, good girl. This is actually kind of interesting.
Can I have a guess?
Sure.
I'm going to go Lady Death.
So I really should have picked Lady Death or Lady Rawhide, I figured no, Mark will guess those. But this one actually does kind of encapsulate the 90s and it does it through it's an homage again. It's an homage not to other comics, but to a Vanity Fair cover.
Oh yeah, I know what you're going to show. Yeah,
She-Hulk.
yeah.
This is a really great one. It's Demi Moore did the famous Vanity Fair cover where she was pregnant, and she's holding a green beach ball, so it looks like she's pregnant, but but She-Hulk is like, except for the TV series, don't watch the TV series, but except for that, she was pretty cool. Like, she was fun during the 90s. So and this is a good homage that kind of captures a bit of the 80s 90s kind of crossover, where you got that crazy big hair. Like, that was really big in the like late 80s, like the big hair, the big shoulder pads.
I actually think that's a really good one, actually, to represent the 90s, because we've got that Demi Moore thing on Vanity Fair, which was very 90s. This was, pregnant woman on. Was she? I think, anyway. Can't remember if she was naked or not.
Yeah, she was naked. She was naked.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was just like doing the hand broad and
yeah. And as you say, that hair, that is real power hair from the 80s, isn't it?
Yeah.
Powerful woman.
I know. Maybe I like powerful women. I don't know. Kind of weird. Okay, so something you learn about yourself in random weird ways. But this is a great John Byrne cover. One that I really was excited to get in my collection. So I really like this one. Okay, so that's my 90s.
Right. So my noughties one. Like you, I wasn't collecting in the noughties. So all my noughties comics have been bought retrospectively.
Okay, yeah.
Last year, I attended an auction. I think it was a Spider-Man auction, and I bought the entire collection of Ultimate Spider-Man in one go. So
nice.
Here we've got Ultimate Spider-Man #1. Really incredible. Mark Bagley.
That has the first appearance in it too. I have that book.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, this one's actually quite expensive. And it's from, this is Bendis and Bagley. And they did this together for a huge amount of time. I mean, this goes on until, I can't remember, it's something like 180 or something. So this goes on for a number of years. And basically, it started because they said, look, Spider-Man's getting far too complicated. He's got too much history, too much baggage. Let's go back and start all over again and do it again and tell the story again, which I think is a great idea. So it starts all over again. It's fresh, clean. So you meet characters for the first time again. There's a slight different, sometimes it's slightly different, but I think it was a great idea, a great run.
Sort of a refresh for Spider-Man.
Refreshing for the noughties. We came out of the comic crisis at the end of the 90s. Print runs were way back down to more sensible levels. So you've said quite a few times that you think some of the comics from the noughties are
that era, like what you want to do is buy in the bust, right?
Yeah. So the print run, I think this one was high because this was the first one, but some of the later ones would have been low print runs. And I've also, although I said one comic, I just happened to have got the Wizard half.
Oh wow, that's 90s. The Wizard. Whenever I think Wizard is like 90s, ended in 2000s, I believe.
Yeah, so this was right at the end of Wizard run, and we got this.
It has a little certificate. Yeah, I love that.
So
and when you bought that run, did you get it together?
Yeah, that came with it. Yeah,
that's really nice.
Yeah,
those Wizard things are quite rare.
Actually. Yeah, no, they've got some value. Yeah,
that's pretty cool. I like that. Okay, so you said naughty and not naughties, meaning, but that's very similar to naughty, like. And this book is definitely naughty, on the naughty side.
Okay.
So I actually won this. I actually won a set because I really liked the cover, and I didn't bring both of them, but I brought one of them, where it's just basically the same cover but different colors to the clothing being worn. And I won them really cheaply. So basically, cover like slab price, like $30, I think.
$40, yeah.
Yeah, it was 30 actually, so it's quite good. And it's Witchblade,
Okay.
and this is just sort of a maybe not as power. Like actually, she's pretty muscly, but
I know, but she's a bit more coy. She's probably the
yeah,
least powerful you've shown so far. She's
yeah, I would say so. But she does have that gauntlet that she wears. But yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a very sexy cover, and to win it, actually, I won both copies for $30. I was like, oh wow, because usually these things kind of go up and like people bid quite high. In this grade, they usually go for about $100, so I was quite happy.
yeah.
I didn't expect to win actually, but I thought it was really it's a really great cover. Very three-dimensional, so I kind of like that. So
Yeah, that's
yeah, so and it's white pages.
yeah. Who could have guessed you were going to do sexy women, Alan?
Yeah. See, it's my birthday. I have to keep it in my themes. Okay, so yeah, that's my '90s cover.
Okay, so now we're into the modern. So we're into the last between
Last.
2010 and current day, and
Mhm.
I think this is the era. This is the era of the variant. Okay.
Okay, yeah, so true.
I was looking at I was looking at Comicron, which sort of lists and one of the variants have exploded in the last
Mhm.
4 years.
Too
So
much so.
I think
Drive me crazy.
new titles last year there were 4,800. Variants there were 7,800. So on average, every single comic last year that came out had two variants.
Wow, it's a bit too much. See, that's like, yeah, I think they're just getting lazy. It's like, oh, we can make more money if we just get people to buy 5 copies of the same comic.
So I have to have a variant. And it has to be it's in a slab,
Okay.
and also signed. Okay,
Oh, nice. You got it all.
I got it all. So this is sort of real this is what you need to get these days, isn't it?
Mhm.
You want to get your variant comic, you want to get it signed, you want to get it into get it in for grading as soon as possible, get your 9.8, and then flip it. So
Yeah.
here we go. Here's one of these. This is Uncanny X-Men #1 from 2019. It's the Campbell. It's Joe Scott Campbell,
Nice.
signed um, in a 9.8. There we go. And I got
Wow. So you got it all. And is it an homage kind of to like the Hulk one a bit? Where he's holding Incredible Hulk above himself.
yeah. So you got Nightcrawler down here, and then you got I don't know how well you can see that. Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, really nice.
Hmm.
I got this for about half of what it's worth in a
Yeah, that's great.
yeah. I mean, it's not a thing I particularly collect, and I'll probably sell it. But it's nice
Yeah,
to.
no, but it looks cool. It looks
But
cool.
it does represent, the last 10 years.
Okay.
This is the way the comic market has gone, isn't it?
Yeah. There's like so many things like that, and like it's one of those things that it's a cover buy. The
Yeah,
only
and
reason,
there were about 10 variants to this. Yeah.
yeah. That's funny. So yeah, so actually I brought two for the last one, um, because I was thinking like 2010 to 2020, and then 2020 up. So I'm gonna show two,
Yeah.
and they're both sexy girl covers.
Yeah.
And the first one is from 2015. It's Convergence #7. It's just a great Catwoman cover with.
I've seen that one. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, it's just a fun cover. I just like it. So it's just like Crypto kind of licking the face of Catwoman, and yeah, it's a Amanda Connor cover.
Yeah, I quite like Amanda Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, so kind of fun. I don't know. I just liked it. Thought it was cool.
Yeah, no, it's
98.
nice. I've never seen that one before. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for the sort of more like 20 to 2022, Betty Page.
Oh yes.
So
Yeah.
this is another variant cover. So we were talking about variant covers.
Yes.
Actually, I think that was a variant cover too. So yeah, it's just like this was the variant cover. I forgot what issue it is. Betty Page, Volume 3, Number 1. So
Yes,
it's
quite
like,
new. I've literally have bought that
mhm.
same issue, but a different variant.
Yeah, there's so many
That's the
variants.
black and white variant of that very picture.
Yeah, personally, like I know like people collect the black and white ones. I actually prefer the color. I know it's kind of, I'm not as artsy as I guess other people are, but I kind of like the color. I like seeing the pink polka dotted bikini and stuff like that. I just think it's kind of cute. Like, yeah. So yeah, I just really like this one. This is the Warren Lau cover.
Yeah, yeah.
So just a really great one. I really like Betty Page, so I pretty much got a pretty complete collection of Betty Page covers and
There's a
comics.
lot of Betty Page.
There is a lot. Oh my goodness, it's one of those things that every time they come out with a new issue, it's like 20 variants. Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah, it's kind of funny, but yeah, I like this one, and I got it for a good price as well, so I was quite happy. Yeah, that is my my trip through the last few decades. And Mark, I think yours is I like that we have both a little bit of a different take on those decades. But now we're going to go over to your channel and we're going to do a different take of the different takes, so
Yeah.
which should be interesting. So head over to Mark's channel and check out what we're going to show there, and it's going to be the same but different. So thanks everyone for watching. Bye
Later.
for now.